2. Joining us now is a man we've had back many times since then, and prior to then, actually, to talk about what Edward Snowden might do, where he might wind up. Douglas McNabb, international attorney and senior principal at McNabb Associates. Hey, Doug, how are you?
I am excellent, Steve. And you, sir?
I am fine and dandy, oh my goodness, what's his name used to? George Carlin used to say, fine and dandy. Okay, so let's talk about this. You probably heard the same reports that I heard earlier this morning that were then said to be erroneous, that he was going to stay in Russia. What did you think when you heard those?
I'm getting dizzy. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. I'm going to go over there. No, I'm going to stay here. It's just it's a mess. And I thought maybe if he had a Russian lawyer get involved in this process, that that there would be some sort of strategy in place. But in defense of what the lawyer is trying to do for him, I guess they are dealing with a governmental bureaucracy, just like you would here in the States, and dealing with ICE or custom or state. It can be a bit frustrating. So that may be what is happening there. But he seems to still be bouncing all over the place in terms of what he's going to be doing. Okay,
so if he has filed an application, if it's just a matter of time, if the gun was jumped, so to speak, by maybe the lawyer tipping off a reporter, and it all got reported too soon, so they're pulling back. Let's work under the assumption for a second that he's going to stay in Russia. I understand that the White House actually called over to Putin to find out what the status of all this was. If he stays in Russia, I mean, this isn't going to be good, right, for supposedly, or you would think, for U.S.-Russian relations.
Yeah, I think that it would be just a matter of tightening the screws even more. It'd be interesting to see whether President Obama elects to visit with President Putin in, I think they're supposed to be meeting in September. But it's my understanding of Russian law, I'm certainly not a Russian lawyer, but from what has been reported, that Mr. Snowden's application was to take about 5 days for a preliminary review, and then a full review within 90 days. And then if ultimately approved, he can stay in Russia for a year, but that's renewable annually. And so he could theoretically stay for as long as he wanted to. And all the while he could be working and traveling about the country.
Yeah, well, he has a Russian lawyer, as you said, and they say that this Russian lawyer told a television station in Russia that he's bought several books for Snowden to read, including Crime and Punishment, which is kind of appropriate, I guess, for the situation he's in at the transit zone, where he's been for a month. So one other thing, so because I lost track and my head's spinning more than yours, but since this is your business, whatever happened to the Latin American option? Is that still there, as far as you know, or is it off the table?
No, I think it's still there, and I think what they're trying to do from a strategy standpoint is get him out of the transit zone, so he's then able to travel freely throughout the country, and can then at some point, maybe with the press looking in the other direction, he can take off and go to one of the Latin American countries. I think that,
you never know.
From what I've read, Venezuela's still interested. Okay,
well, that's it's just crazy. I just want to know who's going to play you in the movie. That's all.
I'd rather be a paid consultant.
Okay, there you go.
That would be okay.
Fair enough. All right, Douglas, we'll get back to you as soon as the next move is made in this chess game, and we appreciate you coming on as always.
It's always a pleasure for me too, Steve.
Thank you, Douglas.